Okay, hi, I'm gonna do the quiz for math week 6, I think. Well, I'm not sure. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing good, so let's start. Okay, so basically, the first thing we need to do when we see these types of questions is you need to memorize the cycle. What is the cycle? So, when it comes to these complex numbers, you need to simplify, okay? So, these powers they follow a repeating cycle of 4. So, basically, I to the power of 1 is simply equal to I, okay? I squared is equal to negative 1, I cubed is equal to negative I, and then I to the power of 4 is equal to 1. Okay, so now, since we have repeating cycles every four like powers, you divide every number here, every power by 4. Okay? You do this even if it's I to the power of 13 or I to the power of 9. Just divide by 4 every time. Okay? So now, what I'm going to do, 12 divided by 4, you get 3. So, since I divided by 4, I'm going to keep the 4 inside the bracket, okay? And then 3. Basically, how did I get these numbers? I followed a property that we learned like a couple years ago. For example, y to the power of m bracket n. This turns into y to the power of m multiplied by n. Okay, so this is exactly what we're doing. So basically, when you unsimplify this, you get I to the power of 12 because you multiplied. See, multiplication. Anyways, let me just delete everything I just wrote. Okay, so basically that's it for 12. Now minus, let me go back to dark blue. Okay, minus 7 divide by 3, divide by 4. Okay, what do you get? Now press 7 divide by 4 and then shift SD. Okay, so you get 1 to the power of 3 4. Okay, so what is this going to turn into? Now by the way, we used a property, so we're going to use another property. So y to the power of m multiplied by y to the power of n is equal to y to the power of m plus n. So now we just replaced m, n, and y with our information. We replaced it using this. Okay, so now I to the power of 4 multiplied by I to the power of 3. That's everything you need for this question. Let me just change the color back. Okay, so first of all, you deal with this. Let me change the color again. Right, deal with this. Okay, so I to the power of 4, it's going to be 1 minus I to the power of 4 again, so it's going to be 1 multiplied. How much is I to the power of 3 here? We got that it's negative I. Okay, let me change the color again. So it's going to be, here is going to turn into negative I. So it's going to turn into 1 minus negative I. These turn into plus. So it's going to be 1 plus I. That's everything you need for this question. Just memorize that the cycle of 4 repeats on and on again. So you divide every number, every power here, divided by 4. Okay? That's everything you need to know. Pretty much that's like the whole thing. Okay, parallel lines. Okay, plus also make sure you read the question, because the first time I solved this, I forgot to see this part, and this part is very important. So basically they said BCD, sorry, this is a right angle, and then CDA, so these are right angles. Now let me zoom in more. Okay, so now we have the fact that this is a right angle and this is a right angle. Okay, and as we know, right angles add up to 300, add up to 90. No, right angles are 90, sorry. Ugh. Okay, so now we have this and we have this. Let me change the color. Hold up. Okay, we have this, we have this. We can easily find this one. So all you need to do is 50 plus 35, okay, and then just do 180 minus the answer. So you're gonna get 95. Okay, now, okay, Let me change the color again. Okay, so we have that this is 50. We need to find this. How do we find this? Since this is a right angle, you can just do 90 minus 50. So here, this is 40. Okay, same thing here. You're gonna get that this is equal to 30. Now, since you have, let me just change the color, something else. Okay, since you have this, and this, you can easily just find this by doing exactly what we did. 40 plus 30, and then 180 minus, so you're gonna get 100, okay, 110. Now, you can notice that these angles sort of make a circle, صح? So basically what we can do is all of these add up to 360, okay? Now, just gonna do 110 plus 105 plus 95, okay? And then you do 360 minus that answer, and you get that x is equal to 50. How much do we get? 50, blah, blah, 50, okay. Oh my god, honestly, this question is like very confusing to me, but like I'm gonna try my best to like try to explain it. Okay, so so how I think you solve this is you resolve this into components. What do I mean? So this started out initially as a rectangle, صح? The whole area of ABCD was 18. Okay, 18. Okay, so now what type of shapes do you have when you cut this up? You get two triangles and one parallelogram. Okay, so now okay, so the area of the triangle of this triangle is going to be 1 over 2 base times height. How much is the height is BA multiplied by AQ. So now I read the course document and it said that this is considered as quarter of the rectangular area because Q is the midpoint, and it makes sense because look, this doesn't like, it just doesn't look like half, you know what I mean? Like, just memorize it like that. And I couldn't think of any other way to solve it because we never had this question come up before, so like I tried to like think about it. Anyways, so then now since this is a quarter, what number do you think of when you hear quarter? You think of divide by 4. So now what I'm gonna do, 18 divided by 4, I'm going to get 4.5. So that will be the area of my first triangle. So 4.5. And this is an identical triangle to this one. So you do 4.5 multiplied by 2. How much do you get? You get 9. Okay? So we're gonna cut these out. So now we want to know how much would we get for this parallelogram. So what you do is 18 minus 9. The 9 came from here, so you get 9. I'm sure that's probably like a correct way of thinking about the question. Okay, so now for this question, I know you're probably going to be tempted to think that this is the radius, but no, it's not the radius because the equation of a circle, if I remember it, is like x plus h squared minus y. Wait, let me check. Okay, لا, I did it بالغلط. Wait, x minus h squared plus y minus like b whatever squared is equal to radius squared. No, you want to find the radius, you can only take the radius when it's in this form, but it's not in this form. Now you have two options: either you complete the circle, which is very tiring, I don't want you to do that, or you can take an easier way. So basically all you need to do is take half of the x with the sign and y coefficients, square them, add them, and add the. So I'll show you what I mean. So first of all, you need to draw a square root. Okay, then divide by 2, plus divide by 2 plus. Okay, now what do you add here? Here you add this minus 3 and then 3 and then add the constant in this, like constant is this one. Okay, so basically what I did, I took half of the x and y coordinate, because see, it's the only, we're not looking for the one with the square, we only want the one with with the x, only x coefficient, not x squared. So okay, I took half of that, then you must square them, forgot to do that, whoops. Okay, and then add them and then divide it by 2 and then add the constant term, which is here. So on my calculator I'm gonna do minus 3 over 2 squared plus 3 over 2 squared plus 9 over 2. How much did I get? I got 3. How much is the answer? The answer is 3. Okay, what's this one? Okay, this is easy. So basically they're talking about correlation. Now it's very easy to tell if something is positive or negative. If it's going down, it's negative. If it's going up, it's positive. Now, strong means that the points are very close to each other. You see, like they're very close. That's what strong means. Now, the amount of hours, okay, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, whatever. Now, just zoom in on the graph. You don't need anything else. So, first thing you need to do, y equals mx plus d. Always our first step is going to be finding m. So now we do the slope formula. We take 2 points. Now, I will take here and here, and then here and here. So basically that's 20, 60, and then I'm gonna take 12 and then 90. So I'm just gonna minus them. So 90 minus 60 over 12 minus 20. How much do I get? I got that m is equal to minus 15 over 4. Okay, that is my slope. Okay, let me change the color. Okay, so update my formula. Minus 15 over 4x plus b. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna substitute it here to find the b. So it's going to be 60 is equal to minus 15 over 4 multiplied by 20 plus x on my calculator, and it gave me that b is equal to 135. Okay, so oh my god. Okay, y is equal to minus 15 over 4x plus 135. Now if you see in the question, wait, let me zoom out. Oh my god. Okay, so y equal minus 15 over 4x plus 135. So now here x and y are on the same side, so I'm just going to move the thing here. So y plus 15 over 4 plus 135. Now they don't have any number fraction, you know what I mean? Like there's no fraction. So I'm going to multiply everything by 4. So I'm going to get 4y plus 15 is equal to 540. That's it. Now, based on the 12 hours, just look, 12, 90. That's it. Okay, modal letter grade. What does modal mean? Modal means you have so many like points at one area. By the way, they're saying grade, so any time spent you don't look at it, so you only think in horizontal lines. Okay, now where do we have many like dots? Here. So it's between 80 to 90. Now we need to find the letter grade. Between 80 and 90 it's B. So that is our model letter grade. I hope you understood. If you have any questions, just like tell me. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye, guys.